The U.S. economy is almost fully reopened at this point. However, several big retailers and shopping malls are either still struggling or shuttering stores and locations at alarming rates. Consumers are now just realizing how ravaging was the carnage. Over the past 12 months, the nationwide drop in retail sales for brick-and-mortar stores was simply unprecedented. It marked the biggest decline in over a decade. Only in 2020, tens of thousands of retail brands filed for bankruptcy, and at least 25,000 stores were permanently closed. But the truth is that the entire brick-and-mortar sector of retail has been suffering from low sales and plummeting foot traffic for years. In 2019, about 9,300 stores closed, and an additional 80,000 stores, which represent 9% of all stores in the country, will close in the next 2 years as part of the phenomenon known as retail apocalypse. The prediction reported from financial services company UBS. Already big household names such as Brook Brothers, J.Crew, Guitar Center, Pier 1 have filed for bankruptcy. The most recent bankruptcy filings include Sears, Lucky Brand, Forever 21, and Circuit City. In total, more than 60 major retailers filed for bankruptcy in 2020. Payless is amongst the ones that decided to shut down all of its stores, closing down 2,100 locations across the nation. Toys R Us also shuttered all of its 735 stores. Bed Bath & Beyond is in the process of eliminating 200 stores. Victoria's Secret has closed dozens of locations. Department stores have been particularly hard hit by the movement restrictions and lockdowns imposed last year, as well as the exponential growth in online commerce. The health crisis caused immense devastation in the sector as consumers lost both the confidence and the habit to shop in person. It's just a format that does not work anymore, as explained by Chris Kuiper, an analyst at CFRA Research. People don't want to wade through a 4-story mega store to find a couple of items, he added. Over the past few years, nearly 40% of the U.S. department stores have been shuttered, including every Lord & Taylor store and almost all Sears and Kmart stores. Neiman Marcus, JCPenney have also filed for bankruptcy, while Macy's has closed dozens of stores, and it recently announced it will close 125 more by 2023. There's no end in sight for the retail apocalypse. Given that consumer patterns won't turn back, nearly half of all remaining mall-based department stores will be shuttered by the end of 2021, according to the real estate research firm Green Street Advisors. And the collapse in brick-and-mortar sales, as well as the massive wave of bankruptcies, are already dramatically impacting shopping malls all across the nation. Industry executives say there's a huge number of malls that are either facing a financial abyss or already down the abyss and currently on life support. The past decade has seen hundreds of malls close their doors for good, and according to CoreSite Research, estimates at least a quarter of the roughly 1,000 malls still remaining will be shuttered in the next 3 to 5 years. The whole business model has just unraveled, pointed out Neil Saunders of the consultancy Global Data Retail. Without department stores as anchors, foot traffic has sharply dropped. The department store genre has been taking the Great American Shopping Mall down with it, noted Mark Cohen, Director of Retail Studies at Columbia Business School. Mall developers have tried to revive their businesses by bringing in experiential retailers such as gyms, movie theaters, and restaurants. But of course, those businesses were just as hard hit by the effects of the health crisis. Hundreds of thousands of jobs were lost, and now those dead malls have a colossal impact on communities where they've gone from a tax-generating social space to an eyesore, said Vicky Howard, author of From Main Street to Mall. It's quite a big economic and social and cultural phenomenon. The alarmingly low revenue has left mall owners unable to keep up with mortgage and loan payments. In recent months, mall delinquency rates have soared. Many properties have seen their value face a painful crash. This chapter of the commercial real estate collapse is being called by industry analysts as the Mall-mageddon. Even though some of the debt-burdened properties are still open and doing business, they still can't meet all the back loan payments and have defaulted on their debts. Consequently, their value has been slashed over the past couple of months as mall lenders are expiring to face huge collateral, while landlords are either walking away or filing for bankruptcy. The acute value decline of these properties is measured from the time the mall loan was securitized into commercial mortgage-backed securities, or CMBSs, until the most recent haircut, as explained by Wolf Richter in a recent article on his blog wolfstreet.com. Now, Wolf Richter reported that the 1 million square feet Westfield Palm Desert Mall, which is owned by commercial property giant Uniball Rodamco Westfield, now that's a company that recently revealed a $32 billion debt and announced that it would get rid of all its malls in the United States. It's now facing a steep decline in its value. A 575,000 square foot portion of the mall, not including the anchor stores, serves as collateral for a $125 million loan that was securitized in 2014 into CMBS. To sell the CMBS to investors, the portion of the mall was appraised at $212 million. Now, investors felt secure by this conservative structure. After all, what could go wrong with lending $125 million on $212 million worth of collateral? What went wrong was the start of the brick-and-mortar meltdown, Richter highlighted. After all their anchor stores began closing down, Uniball Rodamco Westfield defaulted on the loan payment, and in June 2020, the $125 million loan was transferred to special servicing for payment default. The lenders have taken huge losses. The property, whose collateral was at $212 million, is being sold to $55.2 million, amounting to a loss of value of 74%. A similar situation is happening to the 1 million square feet Park Place Mall, which is owned by the second largest mall landlord in the U.S., Brookfield Properties. Now, that's another company that's also been handing back delinquent malls to the lenders and letting them take the loss while walking away. The property, which was securitized at $313 million, is now being sold by $88 million, and that's a loss of 72% in value. Moreover, Wolf Richter also reports that both Valley Hills Mall in Hickory, North Carolina, and Jefferson Mall in Louisville, Kentucky, have seen the value of their properties collapse by 66% due to the wave of store closings and bankruptcies and their inability to keep paying their loans. While the Valley Hills Mall has faced a reduction in collateral value from $97.9 million at securitization to $33.1 million, marking a loss of 66%, Jefferson Mall has seen its collateral's value decline from $101.7 million at securitization to $34.7 million, also a loss of 66% in property value. Now, one of the biggest worries for the sector is the giant New Jersey landmark, the American Dream Mall located at the Meadowlands. This property is in extremely dire financial conditions. The monstrous $5 billion shopping mall, touted as the future of retail, when it opened in New Jersey 2019, showing off an indoor ski slope, a water park, and a roller coaster, which have all been closed for over a year now, is facing severe financial straits after 3 of its main retail anchors, Barney's New York, Lord & Taylor, and Century 21, went out of business during the past year. Since its opening, the mega mall has faced a series of disruptions. It's been struggling to keep up with loan payments as the health crisis delayed its official opening for customers several times, and the mall has suffered from the extremely unfortunate timing of the worsening of the retail apocalypse. The owners, the Germazian family, revealed in an interview with Bloomberg that they're having major trouble preventing the mall from hemorrhaging cash. The family's trying to save the property at all costs, recently hired advisors to help restructure the project's $3 billion in debt and also help to operate the project. Some of the lenders of the project include J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Soros Fund Management, which are bracing to face losses of about $1.7 billion in construction loans if the mall's poor financial condition doesn't show any improvement soon enough. The project is also carrying approximately $1.1 billion in municipal debt, according to Bloomberg. Neil Shapiro, a New York real estate attorney, said of the project, "It's been like watching a train wreck that goes on forever. There aren't a lot of projects that lose at least $3 billion that we're still talking about as projects." On the same note, Kurt Hagen, an executive with mall owner 555, said it would have been much better if American Dream had burned down or a hurricane had hit it. Unfortunately, it seems for both retailers and mall owners, the situation is about to get much worse, as several companies are reporting severe supply chain issues, with manufacturers lacking capacity or materials and distribution networks increasingly backlogged just as we started to move closer to the busy holiday season. The latest supply chain disruptions are already causing shortages that are expected to extend until the end of the year. Retailers are also struggling with skyrocketing freight costs and shipping delays. Some suppliers, adding to the series of financial struggles, are now demanding cash on delivery. Otherwise, they might not deliver the ordered products on time, which is deepening retailers' operational and financial problems while exacerbating the mall's liquidity issues. Mass bankruptcies, closures, and foreclosures are still imminent, with the total commercial real estate debt now nearing $21 billion. It's safe to say that things will never come back to normal, and the commercial real estate collapse has just begun. Thank you for watching. We look forward to reading your comments underneath this video, and please join us for the next video.